Welcome to Blockbuster Buffs Dunk or Defend Harder. I am Matt. This is my friend Joe.
I'm Joe. Yo, what up? My name is Joe.
A tradition we started last year is talking about our picks. You know, the Oscars are right around when this gets released, and you know it's coming up in a couple weeks just for us. So we thought we'd take a look at all the movies in 2024 and just tell you which ones are the best and which ones are the worst, definitively and without any bias, or actually a lot of bias with a huge heaping helping of bias. Yeah, just and the best and worst of the year. So me and Joe have taken some time to get them together. I have sheets.
He has sheets. I have a sheet.
He's got a notebook. He's like a real writer.
Oh.
So last year, this was our most contentious episode. That's
true. That is absolutely true. I don't think this will be quite the same. I don't know if we've we'll see. Maybe. Shoot.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to find out.
We're gonna find out.
Let's go worst to best, yeah?
Totally. For totes. Sweet.
So we're gonna start with our fifth worst, and then go to top. Our most worst, and then
So least worst to worst.
Right.
Okay.
Here in this new town I live in, we have a thing called Worst Fest, which is kind of what this segment kind of looks like.
Woo. True, except
it's
way more
festival
delicious
of the
with
worst.
Sausages and beers.
Yeah, when you were in SA, did you go to Worst Fest ever?
Yeah, bro. Oh, for sure.
Nice.
Do
you like it?
It's a destination. It's a thing.
Yeah, it's fun.
Of course. Super fun. I'll start. Okay. My least worst, but still on the dunk side, is Venom: The Last Dance.
Yep, it's gonna be contentious, guys.
Off to a hot start.
Tell us all about it, bud.
This is the third installment of the new Venom series, and they really tried so hard to rely on the humor of Venom and Tom Hardy's interaction. Don't get me wrong, I love that, but it was absolute crutch for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just garbage plot for the rest of it. So the only fun parts I had were Venom and Tom's interactions, and the rest, it felt like they literally asked ChatGPT to write them a superhero movie, and ChatGPT had seen 3 of the worst superhero movies, and that's it. And it tried to throw together a pretty bad sci-fi plot. And at this point, on top of all that, I'm so tired of Marvel that it's got to be top tier stuff, which you may see in my top list for me to
we'll see.
Really be on board.
So here's what I'd say about that. All of your critiques are actually very valid. Venom connected with me on a very real, emotional level, surprisingly. So I basically base these on just gut rating. There's not a whole lot of all right, well, is this one actually better? Film, filmastic. It's not on my top 5. Just spoiler alert for all you listening. It's not on there at all. I watched it last night because I wanted to talk about it on this episode because I strangely love Tom Hardy in Venom.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved the first one, and I did not like the second one, but I still love Tom Hardy as Venom. And this one was such a reprieve from how much I disliked the second one that I was able to overlook a lot of the dumbness of the plot. And I'm just kind of a sucker for anything that, Venom's, a spoiler alert for real. You better skip forward if you don't want to hear this. Venom sacrificing himself at the end is just it was sweet, and I loved it. And a lot of it, you're like, how does that hold together? And why are there so many of these dumb monsters running about? But I just liked it. So it's probably it's on my like movies I liked this year, but it's not on my like top 5. And I don't
So
really
it's
have
an
anything to
it's an
contend. It's not going to be that contentious. I don't have anything to really argue with you about.
okay. It's an honorable mention for you. I do have some honorable mentions too.
Yeah. It's better than Venom Let There Be Carnage, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd
Which
agree with that.
I think
probably.
was pretty terrible.
And it was forgettable for sure. I don't.
I
remember
had
that
so
much of it.
much. I watched it with my cousin, and we both were like, I really liked the first Venom. I know it's dumb, but I liked it. We went to the movie theater and like, man, this is a bummer. Like,
Dang it.
yeah. So then this one was like, oh, this one's not bad. All right, for my top, my 5th pick on my 5th worst movie of the year is Hitman with Glenn Powell.
Oh, interesting choice.
It got a 3 from me. I rated each one on a scale of 1 to 10, just, again, gut reaction. And you know what it was is I didn't like the like narration. I didn't love the like kind of smugness of the movie. And also, I didn't think the stakes were all that high. Like, I think they were taking something that was like really pretty small and kind of pretending it was way bigger than it was. And you could tell that they were kind of reaching conceptually. They really overblew the true story aspect of it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I didn't particularly like the leading man or find him that interesting. And the chemistry, I think, between the two leads wasn't that interesting to me either.
That's hilarious.
It was an original movie, and I loved that they did something new, but ultimately it didn't connect. I think my high expectations brought it down to a lower score.
I can respect that. It's not on any of my lists, but I am really starting to enjoy Glenn Powell. I'm a fan of him, and I think he's doing some great stuff. You may see one of his other movies on one of my lists.
I have him on my liked list. I just picked all the movies I liked this year and all the ones I didn't.
I enjoyed Hitman. I don't think I hated on it as much as you did.
Yeah, no, hey, it didn't bother me. It just there wasn't that many movies I hated this year or that I disliked this year even. Like my next 4 are movies I kind of liked. They just didn't do a lot for me.
Yeah, my next 4, I didn't really like any of them.
Yeah, but Joe doesn't like movies as much as me.
That's not true.
I don't think it's true either, but I do think that there's a level of...
There's a different type of appreciation.
I think so. I think your highs are higher.
Yeah.
But my tolerance for slop is also much higher.
Yeah. That probably is absolutely accurate, actually.
My bar for liked is pretty low.
Yeah. All right. My next one up on the dunk list is The Union with Marky Mark and Halle Berry.
I tried to watch it and I couldn't.
Yeah. It was, just felt like another one of Netflix cranking out crap of a super generic, like, what else can we think of for an action movie sort of storyline, and throwing a couple good actors.
Yeah. We paid Mark Wahlberg $50 million to be in 4 movies, so we better write 4 movies.
Yeah, exactly. And
let's get some blacklist scripts up in here.
Super forgettable. I could tell you like 3 things that happened, and I have no clue how it ended. I have no memory of how it ended.
Yeah. And Halle Berry really tried to enter into the like action, the Liam Neeson part of her career.
Mm-hmm.
And she did so with the movie Kidnap. And that was really the peak of it. Like, Kidnap slaps.
I haven't seen it.
You should watch Kidnap. It's great.
All right.
It's campy and ridiculous, but it's a real beekeeper of a movie if you catch my drift. But
I
it's
catch your drift.
Pretty great.
See, the funny thing is, I actually still kind of enjoyed Beekeeper.
I have it on my liked list.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's low, but it's on there.
I mean, in theory, Beekeeper really isn't that different than The Union as far as what's another action movie we can think of for Jason Statham. But seeing Jason Statham kick ass just doesn't really get old.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
And I think Marky Mark doesn't have the chops for that to carry that type of movie.
Yeah.
He can carry comedies for sure.
Yep.
But, Instant Family is great, largely because of him and I think Rose Byrne.
Other guys.
The other guys, great.
Pain and Gain. Love Pain and Gain.
Yeah.
But
so, yeah.
There you go. Union.
Number 4 for me is I guess that's 4, right? Yep. 4 is Carry On. Netflix movie came out big.
Yeah.
The plot holes in Carry On were so glaring that I just, as much as I love Jason Bateman, I just couldn't I just couldn't do it. I was just like, come on, dude.
Yeah. It keeps popping up for me to watch. I'm like, nah, I'm not, I don't want to yet. I don't need to.
Yeah. Wait till you have the flu, Joe. Wait till you have the flu.
It's one of those. Watch it when you're sick.
You can sleep through it, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, this movie's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, good. It's still fine.
Oh, I don't feel bad. Yeah, I can go to sleep now.
Yeah, awesome. I love that this is on because otherwise I'm bored every time I wake up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not great. Carry On for me. 4th worst movie of 2024.
There you go. 3rd worst for me was Madam Web.
I didn't see it, but I imagine it's pretty bad. I did listen to a podcast breaking it down scene for scene. So,
well, you basically saw it then. And I mean, kind of along the lines with Venom, but even worse. I actually enjoyed Venom. Madam Web was, I mean, Dakota Johnson is such a wet blanket that her in this role was super hard to get behind. And then, I don't know, it was just cheesy and silly stuff going on that they couldn't make it entertaining, couldn't make it keep my interest. And, Sydney Sweeney got thrown in as supposedly still a teenager somehow. And, one of those moves. It's like, how old is she going to be and still be cast as a teenager,
Yeah, she's not a teenager. We all know it.
Yeah.
We figured it out.
We have figured it out. But another super forgettable one.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Dakota Johnson is almost in the Mary Elizabeth Winstead for me as someone who had these good these early successes, and Hollywood was like, this person, they're like a movie star now, but just no one actually likes her in anything. Just surprisingly. They're like Ramona, Scott Pilgrim versus the World is having this resurgence, and you're like, yeah, but nobody likes Ramona Flowers. Come on. And then same with I feel like Dakota Johnson. It's like you're not watching 5 Gear Engagement, and you're like, I really like Dakota Johnson in that movie. No one even remembers she's in it. The only thing she's remembered for is 50 Shades of Grey, which is resoundingly terrible. Everyone who watches it thinks it's terrible, unless they're just, I don't know.
I don't think that's true, Matt.
Unless they're flicking their bean afterwards.
There's a lot of people who like that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. They're kind of like skeezy, ants,
Yeah.
Or people who watch it to make fun of it, which a lot of people do that as well.
Yep. It will be, unless she has a big, incredible success, which is absolutely possible. So far, it is what she's going to be remembered for.
Yeah, Dakota, is she going to have anything good? Did she have anything good?
Yo, Jamie, pull that up.
The Social Network, I didn't even remember her in it.
Yeah, that doesn't count if she's not like top 1 or 2 leading characters.
I mean, Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh shoot, that's true.
She did pretty well, and that's a good movie.
Oh, that's a great movie, and she did a good job in that one.
She did.
The problem
So
is
maybe
it was
she's just taking the wrong roles.
It was a little too indie for it to be like.
But honestly, I mean, that one's a good one. But like,
that is a great one.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know what's going on. But yeah, she just doesn't quite have it. I don't get it. I don't get it because she's hot and likable.
It's true.
But
she just
is smug, right?
Yeah,
like,
she's smug. She needs a little bit more charisma.
Yeah. Yeah, because when she's being sincere, she's fairly likable.
Absolutely. Her sincerity in Peanut Butter Falcon is fantastic.
Well, and even I think same goes for what's her face, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She was in a movie, like an indie flick about underprivileged youth or whatever, and she was like a counselor in that movie. And you're like, yeah, like I like her in this movie. She did great. But it's just like, well, once they start they just don't have the riz to carry any like humor, I feel like. I feel like their careers have these very parallel paths of like being kind of popular for and then being like seen as like a draw by Hollywood because they're famous, but for some reason no one actually like likes them as much as they should, and it's not any real fault of their own. I don't know. Like, is it an agent problem? Is it a casting problem? Is it just, I don't know what it is. By all accounts, I think Dakota Johnson could be a good actress, but it just doesn't seem to be the case. I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to dog on her anymore.
Yeah. What's your next one?
Madam Web. Did you see that John Mulaney bit at the Golden Globes? I think it was not this last one, but the one before it, where he's like talking about silent movies, and then he's talking about, you know, without sound in movies, how would we hear I was in the Amazon and my mom I don't know, it's funny. Anyway. Should we just pull it up? Jamie, pull it up.
Yo, Jamie, pull that up. That bit does not connect.
All right, yeah. I'll pull it up, but in the meantime, here's what we got. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I think that the trilogy of the new Planet of the Apes, while it wasn't always a thrill ride, I think that it really did hold up pretty well, and I think that this one became too distant to be interesting anymore to me.
Was this number 4?
This is number 4.
Okay.
And while it wasn't terrible, I could not carry any of my interest.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I only saw the first 2 and stopped after that, so that's understandable.
Oh, well, this is 12 minutes. That's not going to work. Here we go. 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Here we go,
Get
folks.
ready, everyone.
This is your ad break, courtesy of John Mulaney.
All right, is it going to share with audio? Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh, good. Let's watch this ad. Is that not a Madam Web reference?
No, dude.
I think it is.
Maybe. I mean, there is a similar thing that happens in Madam Web, but
I thought it was a Madam Web reference. If it's not, guys, I'm sorry. If Joe's out of pocket on this one, you got to let me know, because I'm pretty sure it's a Madam Web reference. I haven't seen the movie, so.
But.
So, sorry.
I mean, I guess he could have known from a previous Madam Web, an old school Madam Web, but he would have been referencing a.
I think it just came out.
Well, when did he give that Golden Globe speech?
I have no idea.
It could have. I mean, it could have been
February 14th, 2024. It had just come out. Globes.
All right. Anyway, while you're looking that up, we're gonna move on.
Yep. Oh no, it's impossible. Maybe it was the Oscars. I don't know. I don't know how it happened. He also is part of the guild, so he probably gets screeners and stuff.
That's true. Next up, number 2 on the worst of the worst list, and this is actually kind of a toss up for number 1, was Argyle.
Really? I have not seen Argyle, but I've been excited to see Argyle, even though I've heard it's terrible.
It was so bad. It was. The problem is, like, I forget it, whatever the director's name is. He did Kingsman, and I love the Kingsman. Kingsman's great, but it is just on the edge of being like too stylized.
Yeah, it's like right on the cusp of Wes Andersonitis.
Yes, it's right on the cusp. And then this one just went absolutely overboard. There are a few scenes where it's just like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely ridiculous and so dumb. And just overall, it was probably like my least favorite Henry Cavill role.
Oh man.
Like somehow his acting was bad. And then Bryce Dallas Howard, her acting was bad too.
Also like, impossible.
I know. I was like, what is going on here? What, like, are we just getting bad direction, bad, notes, bad, like, takes? It just did not come together like it should have or could have. So
they really advertised that one hard as well.
They did. And I was excited for it. I mean, my expectations being high definitely didn't help my reaction, but it's like, man, such an underwhelming performance compared to Kingsman.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I haven't seen it, but I did like the Kingsman movies, and I've heard bad things about Argyle, so I'm excited to watch it, but I am expecting to be disappointed, which means I'll probably like it.
Yeah, that's true.
My fourth worst, again.
Oh, wait.
Kind of like,
hold on. One more note on that. The one redeeming factor from Argyle was Sam Rockwell.
Oh, Sam Rockwell's incredible.
Dude,
in everything.
He absolutely carried, and he was a side character. He carried the whole movie. He was fantastic. So yes, watching the movie just for his performance, worth it. But he was the one redeeming factor to that movie.
Have you seen the movie with him and Mr. Right?
Yes, I have. It's
that movie's not great, but Sam Rockwell really shines.
And his character in this one is pretty similar. It's same vibe. Well,
it's kind of a bummer because, he kind of reminds me of the Gary Oldman, like, where the roles he gets, especially like thus far, have not been great. But every single one of them, like, make people just love him a little bit more. And I'm wondering if that like continual drip in the bucket is ever going to just fill up to where he starts getting, the Lifetime Achievement Awards and things like that. Because like all these little things he does, and every single one of them he does so well.
Yep.
And he hasn't really had an opportunity to shine, and I wonder if he can't like carry that, or if he totally could and just doesn't quite have the face for it, doesn't quite have the like build for it. But I think he could totally carry a lot of things if someone wrote something for him.
I think he's got a couple pretty big hits that he is the leading man, but it may be that his characters are either too mean or too funny to care.
Oh, he got big W from Vice. He played that, and it was
Totally.
awesome.
Yeah, that's true. He got George. He was GW in Vice, but man, other than that, he doesn't have too many like leading man roles.
And even that, he was still a side character.
Right? Yeah, yeah. He's pretty much all of his flicks. He's a side character, except for the bad guys. But that's animated. You don't even get to see him. He's the main bad guy in the Bad Guys. But that's a animated kids movie. Mr. Right,
Man.
I guess, is probably the closest one.
Yeah.
He and Anna Kendrick lead together.
And I don't know how you felt about that movie, but he did win an Oscar for something. I'm assuming for W. No, for 3 Billboards, he won an Oscar. So that's good.
I have never seen 3 Billboards. Have you?
I have not. Oh yeah, I have, but it was boring. I didn't care about it.
Mm-hmm. Shoot.
But I'm glad he's got the acclaim. But again, this kind of furthers my point is that he feels like a Gary Oldman, where everyone loves him in everything he does, but he's just never quite like he's not had his darkest hour yet, where you're like, oh, okay, he doesn't have like the Trumbo like of a what's that one, Bryan Cranston, or and like someone should make a show about with him as the lead. He would do well at it.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So anyway, Godzilla vs. Kong: New Empire. Fourth worst movie, or my second worst movie of the year.
That surprises me. You're such a Godzilla and Kong fan.
I'm a big G fan, I'm into it. I'm into the Godzilla, especially the latest iteration. I've really enjoyed it. And I think that was part of the problem is that, man, that battle with Godzilla versus Kong in Hong Kong was just so great. And this movie really delved into a lot of lore that I'm just not interested in. And, just a lot of like underground apes fighting underground apes. The Earth is hollow, but guess what? There's another hollow Earth underneath the hollow Earth. It was funny because a bunch of like teenagers started like try to punk Kong when he went down into the second hollow Earth, and then he just like kind of beat them up, but like he like kind of put them in their place, and that was kind of fun. But honestly, other than that, I don't remember a thing about this movie. I don't remember who wins. I don't remember what the point was. I don't remember. I watched it like 3 months ago. I don't remember a thing about this movie, except for that one time Kong throws a teenager across, I don't know, infinite space. I'm not sure. Like, he meets other monkeys, which is kind of cool, but like I know nothing about it, or why it exists, or what's cool about it. Like, it just doesn't register. It's like they really lost the plot on this one.
That is an automatic bad sign. If it's forgettable, it's probably not good.
Yeah, man.
All right, my number one worst flick, worst of the worst for 2024.
Do you have the womp 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 ready?
Was Red One.
Womp womp.
I got maybe 15 minutes into this movie before I turned it off. I was like, man, this supposedly should be so good. It's got The Rock. It's got Chris Evans. It's got J.K. Simmons. 3 badasses. And right away, my brother and I, we were watching it, for Christmas. We just looked at each other like, yeah, we'd rather play video games right now than watch this movie. And, with that being said, I haven't seen the whole movie even to give it a full judgment, but you know exactly what's going to happen. Santa Claus gets kidnapped. The Rock is retiring. The Rock has to come back into service, but he recruits Chris Evans to help get Santa back. They go through some crazy shenanigans. Maybe The Rock dies, and then Chris Evans becomes Santa's next top security guy.
Well, you're close. You're not quite there on that one, but I will say I have this on the bottom, well, close, yeah, the bottom of the movies I like this year. I knew exactly what this movie was going to be, and I was never going to watch it. And then at my mother-in-law, or my in-laws' house, they were like, "We're going to watch Red One. It's going to be good." And I was just like, "No, it's not." What are you talking about?
Yeah, come on, guys. We know it's
not
not.
going to be good.
Yeah.
But I got to just sit there and drink whiskey, and it did everything. Like, I would say it's a good, bad movie.
Hmm.
That's what I like, but it's not good by any means, but I'm just like, all right, this is enough craziness that I can totally enjoy this whole situation. And so I really enjoyed it. Is it terrible? For sure, it's terrible. It's not any good. It's like dumb and predictable. It's drawing on heartstrings that it doesn't earn. It's just being like, isn't it cool that J.K. Simmons is buff? And you're like, yeah, we all know it's cool though, guys. Like,
Also, we already love J.K. Simmons, so you don't have to convince us.
I burn 37 million calories every time I go around the world. I was like, yeah, dude, don't be talking about your calorie counts. Like, what are you, classic fitness bro? Come on,
Yeah.
dude.
What's up, Chad?
The bad guy wanted to get captured? No way. It's a big switch. There was some twist that I don't know. This is yeah, I totally respect
maybe
that
next year.
decision to just turn it off. I don't know if it was the whiskey. I don't know if it was me totally understanding exactly what I was in for and not thinking it was going to be good at all, but just committing to being like, this is going to be a nice time, and then it was.
All right. Give that to you.
But I could also see a different mood where I'm just like, no. I'm not even encouraging you to watch it. Don't. Like, it's not any good.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe next season. 'Tis the season. Maybe I'll give it a shot next year.
All right. Yeah, it might come around. We'll see. My worst movie of this year came out in January, and it is called I Saw the TV Glow.
Oh.
And I wanted it to be so good, and it was so much work went into this movie. And then it was just like unpleasantness leading to like nihilism and like the breaking of someone's youth, and then all wrapped around like trans ideology, just like all kind of wrapped throughout it. And I just made me so mad. And then like it was just like the place he started was bad, the place he went to was bad, the whole point of the thing was bad, and then the like light at the end of the tunnel was just never realized, and even if it was, it would have been bad. And the metaphor didn't connect, and I just hated it so much.
Wow. Well, I will never watch that flick, so
Yeah, it was
happy
like
to
a
hear that.
brutal watch.
well, this is the worst of the year, folks.
You're making a big mistake.
Yeah, don't watch these movies. If you want to watch Godzilla vs. Kong because you're a completionist, or Kingdom of the Planet of Apes for the same reason, feel free. They're not that bad. It's fine. Go for it. Ready to figure out what the best movies of the year are.
We still have a couple honorable mentions first, though. You were wrapping up yours.
Yeah, I liked Trap. It was fine.
Sweet.
I figure we pass these back and forth.
Yep. My one of my honorable mentions, which actually I'm gonna save that one. One of my honorable mentions is Twisters with Glenn Powell.
Great choice.
That movie was just so gosh dang fun, and he crushed it.
He really
As
did a good
did the
job.
other chick. I hate that I forget her name, but I don't know her from anything else.
Yeah, I don't know from anything else either.
But it was just such a spectacle. Great spectacle movie. And I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. Out of the Legacy sequels, one of my favorite. It was great. It was fun.
Yeah.
It did exactly what it was
I
supposed to
saw
do.
it without ever seeing the first one, and I'm happy about that.
I've seen the first one a number of times. It was good. I liked Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Another Legacy
Okay.
sequel in there.
Yep.
And it was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. As well as The Beekeeper is on there. As
Nice.
a fun one. It's not like close to the top, but it's a movie I like this year.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. One of mine was Gladiator 2.
Mine as well. Very good.
It was very good. Didn't make top 5, but it was fun. And then another one was close to making my top 5. And you might be surprised by it. It was Inside Out 2.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's all I liked, but it's lower.
I loved it.
Nice.
I thought it was so well done, so relatable, so funny, and also so heartfelt.
I love it.
Yeah.
Here's 2 like horror movies that I liked this year: Heretic and Abigail. I thought both of those did exactly what they were trying to do. One was kind of like a very, fun genre movie, and the other one was like a philosophical movie that didn't quite have the gravitas it wanted, but it was enjoyable to watch.
Nice. I have no more. I chose 3 honorable mentions. So
Yeah, this is just all the movies I liked this year. So I also have Nosferatu, and the one that came closest to the top. My 6th place pick is Dune Part 2.
Nice.
I loved it. Great finish to the Dune series. I'm assuming there's going to be more, but
There
to
is.
the Dune series, as far as I'm intending to watch or care about it.
Are you sure about that? I think you're going to want to care about the next one.
I don't know. We'll see, but I'm not sure. I think that this completed one narrative in the story, and I think that it was good.
Fair enough. But it actually doesn't even finish the first book.
Well, you know what?
There's-
How would I know that? How would I know such a thing?
It's true. Unless you read it. All right. Here
Let's-
we go. Give me a yeah, Matt.
Starting at number 5, Joe. No, after you say the movie, I'll tell you the yeah.
Okay. Starting at number 5 in the top 5 of 2024, I've got The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
I haven't seen this. Don't spoil it. I'm excited to watch it. But
Okay, I won't spoil it. I'm surprised you haven't seen it yet.
I know.
Matt.
I should see it.
I mean, this is just good old-fashioned Guy Ritchie fun, and Henry Cavill absolutely crushes it, which, hilariously, totally a reverse role away from Argyle. In Argyle, he was not given a chance to shine, and in this one, he absolutely crushed it. The whole cast crushed it, and the humor was spot on, the intensity was spot on, the action was awesome, and I loved it. So there you go, number 5.
all right. I just see that clip from it, and I think it's hilarious. So I'm excited to figure out what it's about. My 5th movie for this year, the 5th best movie of the year, was Transformers 1.
No way.
Transformers 1, the animated film, is so good.
We are Blockbuster Buffs, by the way, folks, if you didn't know that, and that is one thing that proves it right there.
It is fantastic.
You don't have to love high art around here.
Yeah. Did you see it?
No.
Oh, no, Joe. It's the best Transformers movie.
Don't tell me that.
It is. It's the best one. It's so much better than you think it's going to be. And there were literally, I mean, I'm sitting on the couch, I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, movie, you're not going to do this, are you? There's no way you're going to go that hard. And then it just did it. And it went that hard. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love Transformers 1. It was so good. It was so good.
All right. I hear you.
It's not Spider-Verse. It's for kids.
Dude.
But
What
dang,
is?
this movie slaps hard. I think everyone should watch it.
All right. Well, with that endorsement, I'll give it a watch. I'll tell you what. All right. Up next at number 4 for 2024.
Mm-hmm.
We did an episode on it. You've already heard it tonight. Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. That movie was fun.
I love Robert Eggers, and anything he does is amazing. The Northman is one of my favorite movies ever. And, you know, this wasn't the same vibe as Northman for me, so it's not going to make my favorite movies of all time list, but it's just so expertly crafted, and Robert Eggers is the man.
He's great.
It was just perfect all around.
What a
Very
good
well
movie.
done. Yep.
Any movie that I'm a third of the way in and I'm just smiling to myself.
Yep.
I'm
Dude, I did that same exact thing. Seriously. I
When
was
I
just
just-
smiling like a goof in the theater. Like,
it's like,
I love movies that are
oh,
this good. Yeah. Just smiling.
thank you for this movie. I'm so
Yeah.
happy that this movie just makes me smile. And not in a silly way, but just
no.
actually doing the thing it's supposed to do.
Right. No, like you're not smiling at what is occurring in the film. It's gross and terrifying. You're smiling at the fact that it's done so well.
Well, yeah, and I mean, there's movies that, you know, Deep Blue Sea also makes me smile about a third the way through, but it's for different reasons. This movie made me smile because I was just like, I love watching this, and I'm interested in it, and it's doing so much for me that I'm just so happy about it.
Yep.
Yeah, this next pick did the same thing, guys. I have a feeling it's going to be higher up on Joe's list, but I'm sure it's going to appear. And it's called Alien Romulus as my fourth pick for the year.
Woo!
Alien Romulus. This movie's great. You should all watch it. We did a whole episode on it. It's awesome. If you listen to our episode, just watch it anyway. You're not gonna miss. You're not gonna be. It's not gonna be spoiled by hearing the plot. Even like, oh, so much of that movie is great. I can't wait to give it a rewatch in 6 months.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Trying to give it some time to
I'm with you.
breathe. But
Yeah. Give it some time to breathe. Some time to germinate.
also
you
to
could say.
feel, I want to feel like there's this restaurant in Denver that I go to, and
Casa Bonita?
every time we go there, we'll get we'll share a hot pot, and then we'll like get the leftovers and put them in the freezer, and then I'll wait, and inevitably in 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 6 months, I'll be just driving down the road or sitting at my desk and go, I want some yum yum spice. And then I'll remember I have some in my freezer, and I'll take it out and I'll put it in the pot, and I'll like wait until it's just the right time, and then I'll get it, and it's like almost as good as when it was fresh. Oh man. And so that's how I feel about Alien Romulus. I'm waiting until that moment where I go, I want to watch Alien Romulus right now, and then I'm
Yes.
going to watch it.
There you go. Yeah, you may be hearing about that from me again.
Yeah, what's your third pick, Joe?
All right. So we've got Ministry of Ungentle Warfare so far. Nosferatu, number 3. This one you have heard me talk about, Matt, but you and probably most people listening haven't seen it yet. It's called Kneecap. This
No
was
idea.
a flick I saw at Sundance last January, and it's a Irish language film essentially, but it takes a rap group out of Ireland, and it pretty much shows their like coming to be. It is very Guy Ritchie-esque, in how it's made and how it looks. And it was just so well done. Super fun to watch. Like, hard-hitting moments, some great humor. Just a lot of fun. So I definitely recommend that one. And it's on Netflix now. It got picked up by a big distributor. It was just a small time indie film, but got snagged. So
Kneecap
you can
on
see it.
Netflix.
Yep.
I'm excited to take a look at it. My film was also released on the festival circuit, and it took a while to get big. It stars one of our favorite indie actors, Jake Gyllenhaal, and he just has to, he's just really got to protect the spaces he's been given to protect.
Yes, dude. Let's
And this
go.
movie is called Roadhouse.
Oh my gosh.
I picked this movie because this movie's fucking awesome. End
I'm
of
so glad you
speech.
picked this movie. I totally respect that. It would absolutely be one of my honorable mentions. I just kind of forgot to include it, but I'm so glad it's one of your tops.
I couldn't get it out. I had to just keep, and I'm like, should I be above this one? I'm like, no, dude. When you watch that movie, you just,
It's just so fun.
it's great, dude.
Yeah.
I wanna stay up late and watch it tonight. That's how great it is. But
Watching
I'm not
those-
going to because it's already midnight here.
Those fight scenes are just pure masculine adrenaline
Oh my
awesomeness.
gosh.
Yeah.
He drives the boat up on the thing. It's crazy. He's getting like everything about that movie is great. All you haters are gonna say, it's fake, but I know the real deal. And you guys just need to appreciate how great this movie is. So anyway,
Love
what's your number 2?
Big respect. My number 2 is one we've all been waiting for years.
Okay.
And this team up is
Oh,
the
yeah.
Dream Team.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, it just warmed my heart to see this flick. And it brought a smile to my face the entire time. And this was Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, baby, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, it was probably my favorite out of the 3. Legit. I love Wolverine. I grew up on Wolverine. The first movie I had on my iPod Touch was Wolverine Origins.
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yes, X-Men Origins
Universally
Wolverine.
hated by everybody except for me and Joe.
Yeah, except for us. Yeah, that
We
movie,
for sure
one of-
watched that together as well. Like
We
watched
absolutely
that
did.
movie a bunch. I've seen that movie so
Dude,
many times. I
We
loved it.
probably had a sleepover and like we're hanging out just watching it on my iPod Touch together.
I remember. I think we watched it on a church or a class trip once, like that, in the back of the bus.
Totally. That I almost guarantee that happened. Yes. For sure.
Ridiculous.
So, Wolverine, part of my heart. And then in more recent years, Deadpool, part of my heart. And then having the two of them team up.
I mean, Deadpool was in that movie, so
Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
an abomination version of it.
the lore. Yeah, absolute abomination. But the lore that's been built up since that movie for this final fruition
Oh man.
to come together, just chef's kiss.
Yeah. I like that movie. It's on my honorable mentions. It doesn't quite go as high as Deadpool 2 for me, which I think is the pinnacle of Deadpool's. But that last 45 minutes, it's it's real. It gets so real. Oh man, good choice. My number 2 for the whole year is one of the more original films that's come out. Not a lot of IP around it. Almost none. It's like the only, other than like Civil War and Heretic and maybe Abigail, like it's the only one on my list that isn't like a reboot or somewhat derivative of something else. And it's The Fall Guy.
Oh.
I loved The Fall
Nice.
Guy. I thought it was great. I thought it was a really good comedy, and I really appreciate that they did something did something new, and I think the actors all did great. I thought it was really funny, and it's like the great action comedy of the year, like the perfect summer blockbuster, and it didn't do that well. And it's such a bummer to me
Yeah.
because I think it really should have been everything it could have been, and it just didn't make that much money.
Totally. I think, well, it was made by a previous stuntman. Like a stuntman became a director, and I'm sure he was a writer too. I don't remember. But I think it was just the fact that he didn't have that full directing experience made it not like a complete movie experience, but it made an awesome stunts experience. So you got to see like something super fresh from that perspective, but it just wasn't completely well-rounded.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it was well-rounded either, but I just think like, man, a movie that's not based on an already popular franchise that is really well done, really well acted. It's interesting. Like, it's like, I mean, it's right around as good as like Knives Out or something like that, but just with not any of the acclaim, and it's just a bummer.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I would put it right up there next to like the first Knives Out, right around that level of like really quite good.
I hear you, but I think it was definitely more popcorny. Like it just wasn't going to get the critical.
Oh yeah, of course.
Critical success. Like Knives Out was a little more smart, you know, more.
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, I guess Rian Johnson is a more proficient director, but in terms of like, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was great. I loved it. We don't have to fight about this.
I mean, I liked it too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I would put it right on that same level. And that's where I'm at right now. We'll see when I give it a second viewing, which I haven't done yet. But yeah, what's your number one, Joe?
Number one, coming in for the entire year of 2024.
The best movie of the year.
Best movie of the year.
I can't believe it. I don't think I could guess it.
I bet you can. Alien Romulus.
Yes.
Never before have I loved a monster movie this much. And never before has a monster movie been done this well. It was so good. I cannot stress enough how well made and how engaged I was the entire time. I don't think there was a single problem with it. It was a perfect movie.
Yeah, probably.
And I loved it.
Yeah, and even though like we talked about, I mean, we talked about all these movies. The Thing. We talked about some really good movies in here.
We did. Definitely.
And, well, it didn't win. It didn't beat out Jurassic Park. Like, it's still like, 35 years, 40 years after that,
Mm-hmm.
It's building on all of the things. It has all the predators. It has all all of this to create just this one singular, nugget of spectacularity.
Yep.
Which is a word I think is totally real.
Totally real. It's real. And it was just so beautiful at the same time, too. The cinematography, probably my favorite part. Just the wide shots of space. So beautiful. Like intermingling the beauty with the terror was so well done. And that's what I got for you. Top of 2024. What's yours, Matt?
Man, that movie goes so hard. I picked a different movie that went, I think, really hard. And in a way, I don't know why it connected more. Just slightly, but just slightly more. I think it's because it doesn't have that same horror element. And horror is always going to kind of be beat out by something else for me. As much as I like horror movies, I really do. It's just never going to be like the top.
I agree with that. This is the absolute exception to the rule for me.
And you may disagree with me. I'm not actually sure how you feel about this movie, but I have Furiosa. I was fully expecting to go into this movie with just like the real like red pilled, get rid of this feminist version of the. Not at all. This movie is not like
Nope.
that, and it's
Nope.
it's great. It's so good, and
Yeah.
I love. Like, I just loved this movie. This story of Furiosa, I had no idea it needed to be told. I'm so glad it was told. Anya Taylor-Joy was great in it. Every
Yeah.
moment was gripping. It's the Fury Road of, Fury Road 2. So it's just like, it's awesome. And it just sucks you in. And I love this, like, style of cinematography and the practical effects and just the whole thing. And the story of Furiosa and the whole movie, like, gripping beginning to end, very similar, I think, in terms of, like, tone to Alien Romulus without that horror element, and I think done, honestly, as, just to be completely clear, not quite as well. It's not a perfect movie, whereas all Alien Romulus is, but I just liked watching it slightly more.
Yeah.
So that's why it became the top movie of the year. Furiosa was great. Like, it was so good.
It was really good. I totally agree with that. I approve. That would be an honorable mention for me, no doubt.
Yeah, Furiosa was great. It's crazy how last year we had just like the same
so much
top
more
pick
contention
and didn't know it.
Yeah, true.
That was wild. And this year, I mean, I think it's pretty more, a little more well-rounded. I think we did I looked through the top 500 movies this year on IMDb. I looked through every single one. And till I just got into, like, softcore porn video, like, movies, and, like, just, like, B, and C and D level movies from different countries. And I was like, all right, I think I've figured out all the movies I've seen this year that came out in 2024.
I'm not going to find any more.
Yep. That should be the end, but I kind of wanted to do two more things, which is, number one, I want to do one honorable mention to Godzilla Minus One, which came out in 2023. That would easily make my top 5 this year. I was gonna put it on here, but I couldn't because it came out in 2023. And then also, what are we looking forward to for 2025?
We've got a fun next season for you folks. And if you made it this far, you've seen one side of us. But this next season, you're going to see a whole different side.
A whole different side.
What do we got, Matt?
Well, me and Joe, the thing about us is that we love love, all the way down.
Love.
We love it. We just love. And for that reason, we're going to be doing a whole season dedicated to, romantic comedies. Obviously. We're talking Matthew McConaughey. We're talking,
Hugh Grant.
a little Heath Ledger, a little Hugh Grant, a little... I mean, maybe even we'll bring in some Ryan Gosling. We'll see.
Some Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock, yeah.
Some Jennifer Aniston.
What's that, Kate Hudson?
Kate Hudson?
Yeah, we're going to get her involved in this situation. We're going to have a good time, guys. It's going to be fun times.
And you know what? Bring the ladies.
Yeah, this is for the ladies. We did
this season's
2
for the
boys,
ladies.
1 for the ladies. We'll do 2 more for the boys.
We're going to have some ladies guests, too.
I guess we had 3 for the boys, actually.
We do have pretty much 3 for the boys. Ladies, this one's for you.
This is for you. We're we got it. I was actually thinking, Joe, I'm looking forward to this year also, just movies that are coming out. The final Mission Impossible movie in 28 years later, but I'm also looking forward to season 4, which is going to either start in like a month or 2 or in the middle of the summer. I think is kind of our timeline on that.
We'll keep you posted.
Yeah. Do you have any of the releases you're looking forward to this year or no?
Yes, I'm sure I do.
What about that new R-Pats movie?
Yes. Yes, I just resaw the trailer for that. Crap, I forget what it's called. It's Bong Joon-ho, director of Parasite. That one's coming out. I'm stoked for that.
Cool. But
Yeah.
anyway, stay tuned. Get you brush up on your rom
Stay
comedies.
tuned.
Actually, go ahead and comment rom coms you want us to cover, because we'd love to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have not picked our lineup yet. And while we do have a deep well of rom comedies that, yeah, it's probably, I mean, I would imagine it's surprising to listeners that, like, I think we can go pretty deep on these.
Yeah, we can, for sure.
Like, I don't know of any romantic comedies that I haven't, like, seen.
Yeah.
That maybe there's something come out like the last 5 years, but in terms of, like, popular ones that I haven't watched,
The classics. Yeah, we're going to have a good lineup. Don't you worry, folks.
yeah, I'm not sure. So I'm sure we'll have some summer ones coming out. So anyway, thanks for tuning in to Dunker Defend Harder, the 2024 in your review. Joe,
See you
send
next
us off
season.
with some wisdom.
Well, we learned from the creatures not to be afraid. Now we're going to learn from the heart how to love. See you next season.